Hey everybody, I'm Justin with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing this replacement ignition kit fitting all 2011 through 2016 6.2 liter Super Duties. Now this affordable replacement kit that we have here today will be for the gasser owners who are looking for an affordable way to freshen up the ignition system on your 6.2 while also helping to clear up any issues caused by a faulty or failing ignition system. Now this kit will include brand new plugs along with coils and new plug wires, all for right around that mid to high $300 price point. All right, so rolling into our features block, I do want to start out by saying that this is essentially going to be an OE equivalent or factory replacement kit, simply designed to freshen up your 6.2 liters ignition system and do so somewhat affordably. Now, with that being said, this is not going to be a big performance boost or upgrade in the sense that you're not necessarily getting a hotter spark or anything like that, which reality tells us most Super Duty owners are probably just looking to get their trucks running like new again and don't necessarily need or want a performance-based kit to drag race the truck or anything like that. Now that being said, there are certainly still some kits out there that will give you a hotter spark or maybe some performance upgrades, but that is not going to be this kit here today. Now what this kit will do is help smooth out your 6.2's rough idle and revs, certainly help clear up any high RPM misfires, possibly even improve some fuel economy as well, just depending on how bad a shape your existing ignition system was in. Now moving into construction, and again, there's really not a ton to talk about here because this is a factory replacement setup, but what do you say we start with the coils first? And again, these are going to be built to factory specifications. They do include the same OE style female coil wire connection in addition to your electric connection here as well. Now these brand new coils will get topped off with brand new coil wires, basically identical to the stockers. They do include brand new rubber boots and they are all factory length. Last piece of the puzzle here, guys, will be a brand new set of spark plugs. They are Iridium plugs, and fun fact, ours were actually pre-gapped to 41 thousandths right out of the box, which is nice, but as always, I would certainly verify your plug gap before installing on your 6.2. Now, price point for this particular kit is going to be relatively affordable when you compare these to other big name options from companies like MSD, for instance, and ultimately around that mid $300 price point, this is going to be a budget friendly setup. Now, if you did want to go with something that will deliver maybe a hotter spark or something with a little bit more performance orientation to it, well, then you can certainly check those out as well. We do have some, lesser known options in addition to some of those MSD options, both of which will vary in price greatly. So regardless, feel free to check out the rest of our selection here at AT before making your final decision. All right, now let's shift gears and talk more about the installation. And honestly, guys, plugs, wires, coils, this is all wrenching 101, very straightforward stuff. Therefore, the site's gonna stick with a solid 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking, I would say, at least an hour to complete from start to finish, depending on how fast you like to work. But now to give you a better idea of how this one might go down at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need an impact, various ratchets, various size extensions, a 5/8 spark plug socket, 8mm swivel socket, 8mm regular socket, and a clip removable tool. Also not shown here is a spark plug gap tool. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing an ignition kit on our F250, so let's get started. All right, guys, so we've got the hood open. We're up in our engine bay. I'm on this convenient topside creeper. Helps because I'm not so tall. We're going to need to remove our air box as well as our entire intake assembly all the way up to our throttle body. A few things we need to do in order to get this off. We have to unplug our mass airflow sensor. We have to unhook our air box. We have to unhook some hoses on this side and undo our clamp for our throttle body, and then we can get this off. So we'll begin that process now. So first we'll unplug our mass airflow sensor. Now the tab for the connector is on the bottom side. There's a red safety tab on the bottom of that, and you'll need to pop that back. And we can push down on our tab, unplug our mass airflow sensor. And once we have that unplugged, we'll undo the latch clips for our upper air box. Pop those off. And we can get this hose out of the way. This can stay on. This needs to come out of these retainers so that we can move it around. Once we have those off, we can unhook our PCV and our other vacuum line. Now this bigger connector has a gray tab On the back side of it, you just push that out, and that should pop right off. And this line should just slide off of that nipple. And we have some other connectors on the other side, and we'll go over there and get those now. Now we've got some clips holding a few hoses on this side, and we're gonna grab our clip removal tool. Have to go underneath for this one. Bit of a tight fit. Should be able to pop that off. Have to work it around a bit. Get that out of there. Also get this one. Pop up and out. That way we can just move it aside, like so. Next we'll get our clamp for our throttle body. Now we're going to loosen our clamp for our intake to our throttle body. We've got an 8mm swivel socket extension on our impact. Now this is going to be hard to see because it's right back down in here, and the nut for it should be on the left side, passenger side. We'll get down in there. And we've got that good and loose. We'll get our intake off. Get that off the throttle body. So it needs to come out, up. We can pull our intake up and out of the way and set it aside. Now that we have our intake off, we have access to all of our ignition coils. And these are held on by an 8mm bolt, as well as our spark plug wire and our connector. So what we're gonna do is, you wanna do these one at a time. So we'll start with this one. So we'll pop our safety tab back on our connector and unplug that. And we can unplug our spark plug wire. Now you wanna be careful with these. Once you have that off, grab our 8mm socket on our ratchet. Take our retainer bolt out. We can pop the coil out. Now we can grab our new coils and install them one at a time. So we're going to repeat this same exact process that we're about to do for every coil. Alrighty guys, so in addition to removing and replacing our coils, we're also going to be doing these spark plugs and wires. This truck, this engine in particular, has 16 spark plugs in total. That's 2 per cylinder. So you have one that's directly below the coil that we removed. You also have one that's on the other side of the cylinder head. So we're going to start by removing the upper spark plug, then we'll take the wire off, and then we'll remove our lower spark plug. Now you're not going to be able to see down into the spark plug hole, but it's going to be directly where that coil came out. So we'll send our 5/8 spark plug socket and extension on our ratchet down in there. Get that onto our plug and crack that loose. Once that gets to a certain point, you should be able to run it out by hand. This is a good way to feel your threads and make sure they're all good. That's very important for this. And once that comes all the way out, we'll pull that out. And out comes your spark plug. Now we can remove our spark plug wire, and that's held in at its midpoint by a retainer clip. So we've got our clip removal tool. Slide in and pop that up and out. Sometimes these are a little stubborn. Once you get that out, I want to follow it down to the lower spark plug. Now again, this is very hard to see, but once you're down in here, you'll see what's going on. Follow that down. Pop that off your lower spark plug. Pull that out. Now again, I highly recommend doing these one at a time. So now that we have that wire off, we can remove our lower spark plug. So we're going to bring back our spark plug socket, extension on our ratchet. Get that on our lower plug. So our spark plug is out. And remove that one as well. Now, although we are doing this one cylinder at a time, the removal process is going to be the exact same for each cylinder. So you want to repeat these steps for each cylinder when pulling your spark plugs and wires. Now we're ready to install our new plugs first. Now, although 9 times out of 10 these do come pre-gapped, it's always a good idea to double check your gapping with a gapping tool that's usually available at the counter at any auto parts store, just as a precaution and safety point. So got that. We'll stick our spark plug into our socket, make sure that seats and is secure. We're going to start with the lower plug. So just as we came out with it, we'll get this down and in. Now again, this is going to be very difficult to see while you're doing it. You'll be able to do it by feel. So we're going to very carefully get our new plug into position. And you always want to start these by hand so you can feel the threads catch. Once you get that hand tight, you can grab your ratchet, put that back on. Snug those down. Bring that out. Then we can do our top plug. Now you're going to need your longer extension for that. Just as with the other one, we'll set this in our socket. Send this down into the spark plug hole. Get that going by hand. Bring back our ratchet. Tighten that down. Now that we have both of these in, we'll come back and install our plug wire. Now we'll get our new wire installed just as the old one came out. So our longer end is going to go to our bottom plug. These are a little bit tricky to get on. Once you have that one on, leave this loose for now. We can install our coil. So we've got our new coil. Send that right down our top spark plug hole to seat onto that upper plug. Pop that into place. Grab our 8mm bolt. We'll grab our 8mm socket on our ratchet. We can plug in our coil. Make sure to lock that tab back into place. Pop our new spark plug wire onto that. Now that you've got this first one done, you can repeat this same process for all of your other cylinders. Alrighty guys, so now that we have everything in place, we can reinstall our air box and intake tube. So we're gonna grab our air box end. Remember to slide that under this coolant reservoir hose. So now that we've got our air box section under our coolant hose, carefully slide this back into place. Line up your air box over here. We don't have to lock it in yet. Get this in line with our throttle body. Slide that back into place. We can reattach our clips, holding our lines in over here. That one in, and that one. Then we can tighten down our throttle body clamp. Now again, this is hard to see, but we've got our 8mm swivel socket and extension on our impact. I'll reach back in here. That on. Tighten that down. Then we'll button up everything on the other side. First, we'll get our PCV and vacuum line back in place. Grab that, pop that on, that'll click. Our vacuum line, get that back on our fitting. We can come over here, our coolant reservoir hose back in, plug our mass airflow sensor back in, make sure you lock that safety tab back down, and we can reinstall our clips for our air box. Remember, there is one directly under your intake tube. You're good to go. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our ignition kit for your 11 to 16 6.2 liter F-250 Super Duty. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything F-250, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.